Welcome to another one of Book Lovers Book Videos. This book video is going to be of the book haul on December 5th, 2015. We went to two different bookstores and I picked up 18 or 19 books, which I'm going to go through in a moment. Last book video that I made was about 1 month ago, and we actually went to a bookstore a couple of weeks ago and I forgot to make the video. I put all the books away and then I realized, oh no, I didn't do the video, so wasn't in the mood to pull everything out again, and so I just let it go. But so I did miss one trip. Today we went upstate New York and went to two bookstores, and one bookstore is a half-price bookstore. The other one is attached to a library, and it's not that it's only library books. There's all people donate books there, and those books are like 50 cents for paperback, $1 for hardcover. So most of these books were purchased at the half-price store, and a few of them at the library store. So I'm going to go through them now. This is Dance Me Outside, which I have this copy already, but it was in such great shape, and this was only about $5 a cost. There was no price on it, so the girl came up with a price, and it seemed fair to me because on the internet this goes for sometimes big money. So I like to have an extra copy of it. Great movie. This is short stories. This is not the movie book, but it's short stories, some of which were used in the making of the movie Dance Me Outside. This book actually I got in the mail today. I had ordered it. It's the last book I needed to complete the series of books that W.P. Kinsella wrote about this make-believe Indian reservation in Canada. This was, I think, the last book in this series. It's an autographed copy. I got it for around $4 and change on Amazon, and actually I wasn't expecting it to be in such good shape, but it was, so I was surprised. So that came in the mail today. This National Geographic was only 10 cents. That's why I picked it up. I already have a few copies of this edition, but this one is a special edition because it has a story about Custer's Last Stand, aka the Battle of the Little Bighorn. And whenever I see it, I like to get a copy. And for 10 cents, why not? Okay, let's go on to the books now. The Drums of April by Charles Mergendahl. I never heard of this book before. It's Revolutionary War. It's old vintage. By the way, I put the books in the book bags. They didn't come like this. The book is like really great shape. I mean, the corners, everything. Looks like it wasn't even used. And it was only 30 cents. Actually 30 cents plus a quarter. That's how they do the half price store. They add an extra quarter in. But for 55 cents, it was worth it. I looked it up on the internet. One Kirkus, I think it was, didn't give it a good review. Of course, that's like 50 years ago, or 30 years ago when the book was written. But for that price, I'll check it out. If I don't like it, it's not a big loss by any means. The Oregon Trail. This would be a reading copy. I have this book already in different versions, including this one. It's only 50 cents, so what the hell? Nice shape. It's good enough for a reading copy. True Grit. Everybody's seen the movie, or most people. Not really a big fan of the movie, but this book always just comes up in like the list of best Western books. True Grit always comes up by Charles Portis. A friend of mine read this book more than once, said it was really good. So I figured it was half off. I figured I'll give it a shot. So I'll probably read that in the next few years. Doesn't look like it's too hard to read. Santee Massacre by Robert Steelman. Not really familiar with Steelman's work. I might have one or two other books by him. Thought it was kind of a cool cover, a little bit kitschy, but interesting. So figured I'd give that a shot. It was in nice shape. If it wasn't in nice shape, I don't know if I would have purchased it, but looked like it was in pretty good shape there. Northwest Passage by Kenneth Roberts. This is a famous book. Look, a big book. Half off. Figured I'd give this a shot. If I like it, maybe I'll look for a hardcover. The back's a little bit dirty, but not too bad. Looks worse in the camera than it does in person. So Northwest Passage by Kenneth Roberts, famous book. Conquering Horse by Frederick Mansford. This is a mostly reading copy. The spine's a little bit tilted, but not too bad. Overall, the book's in good shape. Actually ordered a copy on eBay recently that's an old vintage copy. It looked like it was in excellent condition, so I figured I don't want to really read that one. I'd rather, when I saw this one, I figured I could read this one and save the other one. T.V. Olson, who wrote Soldier Blue, a famous Western and a famous Western movie. This one is called Summer of the Drums. Looked interesting. Half off. Figured I'd, great shape. Figured I'd give that a try. And speaking of Soldier Blue by T.V. Olson, here it is. Theodore V. Olson. I actually have this book already with this cover, and I think a different cover, but it was in nice shape, and just a little bit worn, so this could be a reading copy, but good enough in half price. Okay, now I've been getting in a little bit of science fiction, although I haven't really read much of it yet. So in 2016 I plan to read a few of them. I read a couple of them last year and really didn't like them, but they were kind of not upper class sci-fi, more like dime novel type sci-fi, and they really weren't so good. So I'm hoping that some of these authors, C.J. Cherry and Isaac Asimov and some others, are better authors, and I'll enjoy those more. So this book, Hunter of Worlds, I think it's part of a series. I thought the cover was cool. I didn't know it was part of a series when I bought it, but I looked it up on Amazon a little while ago, or on the internet, and it was said book number 2. But I think it's a standalone, like you can read it on its own. And I like the cover, so. And there was a little blurb inside the front cover I thought was interesting, so I'm kind of looking forward to that book. The Dreamstone. This is part 1 of a 2-part series, if I understand correctly. I have the other book, which I picked up over the summer, and so figured this was part 1, that I would get it, and hopefully that's a good book. Science fiction for people who hate science fiction. I'm not even sure if this book was read. It's like the pages are stiff, like the spine. This looks like it's never really been touched. Even the corners were in great shape. And it was only half off. It was 50 cents plus a quarter. So for 75 cents, and it's supposed to have exciting stories, and I figured that's a good deal. Good find. These two here, Arthur C. Clarke, it's short stories, and Expedition to Earth and Reach for Tomorrow. So those were half off, and they were originally 75 cents. And let's see here, Arthur C. Clarke, The Other Side of the Sky. Looked interesting. It was in nice shape. Corners were good. Figured this was I think I got at the library for 50 cents. So for 50 cents, that's a steal. Arthur C. Clarke's supposed to be a good writer, so I think I'll like that. If I live long enough to read all these books. Arthur C. Clarke, The Lost Worlds of 2001. This is various I don't know what to call them, essays or chapters on how the book and the movie compare. I think something like that. The making of the book, kind of background details. So it looked interesting. The movie, I think, is a very good movie. So this, and I found this at the library also, 50 cents. So I was like, wow, look at that. Hard to believe no one else took it, but there it was. Okay, Isaac Asimov, Nightfall. This I think I got at the half-price store. And Nightfall, I've heard of the story. I've never read it. It's supposed to be a famous story. Almost everything I read by Isaac Asimov has always been good. I remember, like, teenager in high school, I had to read some for some class I took, like a science fiction English class. And it was good. And I went afterwards and read a couple on my own. And so it was always good, but I never really got heavily into sci-fi. I don't know why I am now. I have just too many books on the West to read, history and fiction, but I've been getting a few of these and kind of looking forward to reading them. Again, I'll try to read a few this year, and every year I'll throw a few into the mix. This book looked interesting, Montana Gothic. I didn't really know if it would be good or not. I was skimming through the pages, but it was really hard to tell. Luckily, when I got home and looked it up on Amazon, it had really good reviews. Really haven't found a bad word about it anywhere on the internet. So this was a half-price book, so it was $1.25 plus a quarter, so $1.50 for $1.50, and it was in really nice shape. I'm hoping that's a good story. Someone compared it to Edgar Allan Poe a little bit, and I like his stuff, which I've been reading during October and November. I've been reading a bunch of his stories. Pretty interesting. And speaking of Edgar Allan Poe, here's a book of his short stories, a compilation, and there's like a forward and an afterword, or at least an afterword. I think a new afterword by Regina Marler. There might be a introduction. I have to open it up again and look at it, but I got it even though I have these stories in another book. I wanted it because it has a different afterword by someone else, and I like to read introductions and afterwards by people who study the writer, and see if they have any interesting details to tell. So I picked that up. So that was it. My wife got some books. My son got some books. We had a good day. Ate at a nice restaurant. And sorry I missed that last book haul. But here we are again. And this is again December. Well, now it's December 6th, but the books were purchased on December 5th, Saturday, 2015. Take care and see you next time.